Welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Racing Show here at RacePlazaMedia. My name is Milan, and today we're going to take a look at the FIA World Endurance Championship TV app. And the reason why we're doing it is actually because Le Mans, the 24-hour race, is about 4 weeks away. And I was looking into what the best way would be for us to watch it, because we do plan on doing a live hangout for the whole 24 hours. So if you don't have anyone to watch it with, you can join us and just hang out, chit chat, and help us stay awake during the night. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the app today. I'm gonna talk a little bit also about the website. Afterwards, we're gonna take a look at the good, the bad, and what my recommendation is for you in case you want to watch Le Mans this year. So let's get right into it. All right, so here we are in the Le Mans app. The first thing we're just going to go ahead and take a look at is the first thing, obviously, the overview page. It will give you a few probably recommendations for you to click on. And then if we scroll down a little bit, it will pop up the most recent race that just happened, which was the 6-hour Spa endurance race. And it was actually a really, really good one. So if you haven't watched it, there's a little spoiler coming up later on. So just be mindful of that. And then it will also give you essentially the trending stuff. So the race highlights, upcoming news about the Le Mans 24-hour race. And if we scroll a little bit further down, we have you can actually click on the replay. We're going to do that in just a moment. We have some news, and then obviously it will also tell you about the subscription service that they are offering for you to watch the World Endurance Championship. Further down here, we also have another button available, which is the calendar. So here it gives you their calendar, racing calendar, and then the competitors right here at the bottom. We're going to take a look at all of that closer in just a moment. The first thing, however, I do want to cover is, of course, the streaming and how it is to watch on the phone. So if we're going to go ahead and click into the race, what I really, really like is that you have the option to do watch actually the race from specific onboards. So you can click on it, and then you can select your team from where you want to be able to watch the race. So if you're, Hertz Team Joda, that's my team. So then you can click into it, and then let's scroll a little bit forward. We can see the race from the car, which is really, really awesome, and I really like that. If we, however, go back, okay, it will ask me now every time if I want to share my location. Okay. Then also we have the option between English, French, and what I also think is really, really awesome is the race without commentary. And I think that is actually really important, because a lot of times, sometimes I wish there was an option to watch a sports event, whether it's racing or if it's maybe like a football game or something like that, without the commentating, because sometimes it's a little too much. So it's nice that they do give the option to watch the whole thing without commentary. Now, if we're going to go into the English broadcast, you obviously have the option to, fast forward and go back. I haven't actually watched a race live on the app. I have only watched replays of it, and I haven't really had any big issues with the replays, whether I was using my data or my Wi-Fi. And then if you guys actually look a little bit further down, you guys can actually see some telemetry data of the race. So you guys have right here all the teams, and it will give you the gap in between right here, and then the best time and the best lap, last lap, all that stuff, how many laps have been completed, the position. And then you also have the option to switch to expert mode, which essentially just gives you the sector times, the individual sector times of the race, which I also think is really, really cool. And then on the left side, you guys can obviously see the layout of the track. We get the humidity, track temperature, how much time has been elapsed, which it does not actually match what the top is, because clearly we're 38 minutes into the video and it says 5 hours and 56 minutes have been elapsed. So that's not quite right. Moving on from that, there's a few actually other things that they offer here that I think are really, really cool. On the desktop version of this, if you use the website, you actually have the option to pop out the telemetry window, and it gives you then so you can have that in a separate window if you wanted to. On the phone, it does not give you the option as far as I know, but it does give you the option on the website, which I really like. Then right here, you can, I guess, see the race results. checkered flag, who won, little spoiler, Hertz Team Joda. It will give you, I guess, the top 3. You also have, I forgot to show you guys right here. You guys also can obviously take a look at free practice, qualifying for hypercar, or qualifying for LMGT3, plus, of course, the hyperpole. Now, another thing that I think is really, really awesome that they offer here, and that is, I believe, under here, that little flag symbol, because it gives you an exact breakdown of everything that happened. So, for example, car 83 not serving penalty correctly in pit stop, NFA, and it gives you also the time when that happened. So it kind of gives you a breakdown of all the things that happened throughout the race that involves race control, which I once again really like. I believe this button right here gives you the option to switch in between the different commentary options or viewing options, and then this button right over here is just a chat, I guess, that was happening while the race was happening. Okay, moving on from that, let's take a look at the calendar. So one thing that I really, really love about the calendar, if you guys see right now, you can see the times. If you're in the US, you might not be familiar with the 24-hour clock system, or how we call it over here, also military time. You do have the option to switch to local time, so the time that you can see will be adjusted to the time that you're located at. And then, so it tells me, for example, Le Mans will be at 7 a.m. in the morning for me, Los Angeles or Pacific Standard Time, which is nice that they make it so easy for you to figure out when you need to show up to watch the race. Then let's move on. This is really, you can also, if you click that little button here, the little calendar symbol, you can download the calendar on your phone. I don't want to do that again, so I'm not going to click it. However, what we are going to click is the little competitors button right down here. And here it gives you the option to filter between either if you're looking for a specific team, if you're looking for a specific car, or if you're looking for a specific driver. And then you can also, they have a little search function up top, and you can type in the name. So let's say we're looking for Jenson Button. We can now click on him, or on that little arrow, and then it gives us a little bit of a breakdown of what he does. So we'll give him his team, how the car looks, which I also think is really cool. So if you're looking for a specific driver, you're like, hey, I'm a Nick DeVries fan, but I don't know what his team is, what the car is looking like. You can go in here, find the man, and then find out how the car looks and which number it is, so you can locate it on the field or during the race. And it also will give you the driver's age, it will give you their socials, and then if you click on that little news button up there, it will give you some news about the driver, but it's not it's not a flawless thing, because you guys can see there's news from February 29th, 2024. And then if we scroll a little bit further, the next news for Jenson Button is 2018. But he did compete in the Le Mans last year. He did compete in his own category. I believe it was like a prototype. I think he was racing in a Camaro. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a year, but essentially, there's news missing, and it's also only WEC news. So it's not something that is only like everything about Jenson, it will only relate to that. There is also this thing is that if you click on a driver that doesn't have any news, I'm just gonna try to see if one of them doesn't have one, then it will just be empty. I don't know what Marco Sorensen is doing. He has news. Okay, sorry, Mr. Marco. I didn't mean no offense, but I found randomly a driver. It was just empty, and that's just the way it is. But he races for D Station Racing. Oh, that's awesome. I actually really like that team. Wait a minute, that gentleman. Okay, that gentleman in that picture is not the same one that we see up top, but that's okay. Anyways, so those are all the things that I actually really, really like about the app. And then also, if you click on that little three dots on the bottom right, we can once again pull up the calendar, the competitors, and we can also pull up their rankings, which I think is very important. And for whatever reason, I had a really hard time trying to find it on the website. I don't know why they're hiding that so much, but now it will give you the standings for the LMGT3 teams. So, and then you can click that little button, and then you can also once again switch in between. If we wanted to take a look at the hypercars, we can take a look at the hypercars, and it will also give us for each individual race how many points they got. And we can see obviously the upcoming races are still blank. So let's talk about the bad things about the app. There are a few things There's some things that are bigger issues than others. Some things maybe that I don't like it because I'm not used to it. We're gonna cover all of those things, and then, as I said, once again, I'm gonna do a little summary at the end, and then I'll give you guys my recommendation. But so the first thing that I think is absolutely obnoxious in this is, so if we go into a race and then we opt for a race um, English commentary, and then we go to the front, let's say we're 2 hours in, right? And then for one, you have this really cool option where you can just switch. And I'm like, you know what? These commentators, they're talking too much. Let me switch it up. You can go to without commentary, and then it restarts the whole thing. And then if you're like, okay, well then don't switch, no problem. You know what I'm gonna do? I also don't like that the back button is this down arrow here on the top. Because for me, I would think that it opens up drop down. But anyways, this is minor. This is not a big deal, the arrow. But if I go back into English, once again, it does not remember where I left off, and there are certain times of the 6 hour spa race that I've seen multiple times, because obviously sometimes when I'm like switching away, because I switched a lot between watching on my phone to watching on my TV and back to my phone, and this is not something that I do. I won't remember where I left off. The only thing I will probably remember is what happened, and then trying to find that in a 8 hour stream or almost 9 hour stream where you left off is so annoying. This is like, why would you ever do that? That is really, it's really, yeah, once again, it's just really annoying that it doesn't do that. Besides that, the app does not remember your replay. It also, for me, the cast function on the top right has never worked. I have not been able to get the app to connect to my TV to watch it on the big screen, and there is no FIA WEC TV app, at least not on my TV, and there's none available for the Fire Stick that I have either. So that's a little bit frustrating. I don't know. I hope they're going to add that later on, especially considering that the cast option does not work. And I've seen people online also saying that they have not been able to get it to work. What my workaround has been is that I just screen share or do smart share from my phone to the TV. And that has been working. But, it is a little bit frustrating that, it doesn't work. Another thing that I just remembered is if we go into full screen mode, you guys can see that right here, is that even though I'm in full screen, that the bottom row of my phone is still visible. So at all times, it will show, I can see, my quick apps on the bottom. And this is not just an issue with my phone, because I do have a fold. I've tried it on a non-folding phone, and it does have the same issue. It just won't remove those buttons at the bottom. I don't know why it wasn't configured in a way, but that's another gripe that I have. However, a bigger gripe than the little bar at the bottom, because I can just ignore it while watching. I think some people that's a little bit more bigger issue for them, is that if you guys see right now that when I go into the race, once again, let's go into the English commentary. Once again, it starts over, even though I just went out and back in. It tells you at the very bottom immediately the race results. So even though the app itself does not spoil you, the moment you click into the replay, and if you pay too much attention on the bottom, you will see who won, because the live telemetry and data does not update as you watch the replay. The good thing is I did not see this beforehand, because I was just kind of ignoring what was going on there on the bottom. But it is incredibly frustrating that you could have avoided social media and the news and everything, and then you go in, and the first thing that you see when you click a replay is you see who won the race. I mean, that is probably one of my biggest gripes with the app. Like, you're hiding everything. You hide it in when you go into the app. You don't send maybe a notification about it, but then you put it right into the replay. That, and probably it not saving their replay position are probably one of my biggest gripes with the app. There are, however, two other things that I really do not like about this app, and which is there's no search function. So if we're in this right now, there's no search function whatsoever. So I cannot try to just click somewhere and try to type up and find a race. And interestingly enough, The website also does not have that feature. If you are on the WEC website, there's no search function either. However, if you go into the competitors, there is a search function. So clearly they know how to do it. They just haven't implemented it on the bigger app. And I know this all might seem really, really harsh, but we're talking about a big racing organization here, and they have the funding and they have the means to provide a good app. And this is not, this is not like a surprise thing. These are basic features that this app should have. Another thing that I would probably just add is we can obviously see on the bottom we have the home button, the calendar, and then competitors. I would prefer that they add the ranking button also down there, so it's very easy for you to just click on it and find out, instead of having taking that extra step, because we have obviously plenty of room on the bottom. So yeah, it's just sometimes it's little things with the app, sometimes it's big things, but overall, it's it's a little underwhelming. And then the last thing I do want to talk about is, if you are located, let's go to the subscription. If you are located in the US, or if you're located in Canada, Le Mans and the Lone Star Le Mans are not available for you to watch on the WEC app. So I did not know this, and I'm not faulting them for this. This is just my own mistake. I bought this planning on watching all world endurance races on this app, not realizing that Le Mans, the one race that probably everyone who's interested in world endurance race is probably going to try to make time to peek into it or watch all of it, is not available for people in the US and Canada to watch on there. And then you're still paying full price for the subscription. So it's $60 for the year, and it does not include 2 races, but you're still charging me full price. And you know what? I think it is full price. I don't know if it's maybe cheaper in a different country. I cannot see that from here, but that's crazy to me. That is absolutely nonsense, especially if you consider, I think the Formula One TV app is, I think now it's $85 for the year, but you get F1, F2, F3, F1 Academy, and you get the Porsche Super Cup you can watch on there. And you do not get that on here. There are some extra races outside of the WEC that you get on here. I don't want to, misrepresent that. You have that, sorry, it is here, more endurance. We have, so for example, the 4 hours of Le Castellet, I don't know how to pronounce that, Barcelona. So you do have some other races on here, but there's no back catalog. So you cannot, was not able to go back, and once again, because there's also no search function, to go back and, let's say, look up the 2022 Barcelona race or the Spa 6 hour of 2019. They don't have any of a backlog on here, which is also a little disappointing, because most apps do have that, even though, for example, the World Rally Championship, which app is also incredibly terrible, they even have that function, and it's a little bit frustrating they don't have that here either. I will, however, say that they upload a lot of their races on YouTube. So it might not be available here, it might be on YouTube, but it would be nice that if I'm paying for a service, that everything would be included in there. Now, however, let's go back one more time to the subscription part of that right here. So yeah, once again, in the US and in Canada, you don't get access to that. You get access to all the other stuff, but you don't get access to Le Mans and the Lone Star Le Mans race. If you're now asking where can I watch it, you can actually watch all of the World Endurance races this year on HBO Max. I don't know if that's the same case for Canada, but I know that is true for the US. And that also means that I could not possibly recommend anyone who's located in the US to get the World Endurance Championship. I couldn't recommend it to you, because I don't think it has enough features to make up getting HBO Max. And if you're like, well, I'm only interested in racing, I don't need anything else that HBO Max offers, I get that. However, HBO Max also offers other sport and also other racing. So currently you can also watch MotoGP on HBO Max. So it's just in general a much better deal. HBO Max also has I would probably say a better app. The cast function on the app works. There's TV apps. So overall, it is a better experience. I would double check if you're in Canada located. Make sure you also can get access from HBO Max to the WEC, and then don't even bother with this until um, you can actually watch Le Mans on this. I once again, I don't fault them for they clearly advertise this right here, and I didn't read it because I just assumed I would get access to everything, and then I just threw $60 in their face. That's 100% on me. However, that being said, considering that I get all of that with HBO Max, plus I get MotoGP and other sports, there's no reason for me to give them again money next year. They already got me this year, and that's fine. But next year, if it's the same thing, I couldn't possibly recommend this app for anyone in the US or in Canada. It's a little disappointing that's the way it is. So to review the whole app one more time, I would say it has a lot of potential. It has a lot of features that I really, really like. Once again, I like the option to watch a race without commentary. If you just want to have it on and you don't want to hear people talk, I like that option. I like that they have a individual page for like the cars, for the competitors, and for the teams, that you can click on it and get a little bit more information, that it shows you the cars. I think that's incredibly helpful, especially there's a lot of cars on the track, so it can be sometimes a little bit difficult to keep track of it, who you're looking for, who you're rooting for, especially if you're new to the sport. So I think that's really, really cool features. However, there's too many features that just don't work. That the cast function doesn't work, that you cannot watch Le Mans in Canada or in the US, that it does not save your replay, that it gives you a spoiler with the telemetry. Those are all, I think, individual deal breakers to me. And the app overall, currently on the Android or in the Play Store, has, I think, a rating of 2.8 stars. As for Apple users, I did find reviews for the app. There was one time I found the app with a little bit over 100 reviews, and it had 2.7 stars. And then I found it again with 11 reviews, and it had I think a 4 point something review. So I don't know what the difference is. Once again, I don't really have any Apple devices or products to try it out myself. I see. It seems to be that a lot of people were complaining that if you have an iPad, you can only watch races in portrait mode. You couldn't do it in vertical or no, sorry, horizontal mode, which that is frustrating. I can see that. I guess if you have an iPhone, feel free to try it out and let me know in the comments down below if you have the same issues that we do here on Android. It seems like people are not happy on both parties, which is very unfortunate because it is 2024. The FIA World Endurance Championship is a huge organization. They have plenty of funding, and a good app should be they should be able to provide us a app that works stable. I also saw that people were saying in the reviews that when they're watching races live, they experience high latencies. Sorry, there was a lot of lag, there was a lot of crashing, and it was not a good experience. Once again, I've never had these issues, but I also only ever watched replays on it. I didn't watch it live. Once again, if you're in the US and Canada, I don't recommend at all for the subscription service. Obviously, if you're outside of the US, I would once again double check if there is another option. If you have to get it, it's not the end of the world. I'm just saying prepare yourself for Le Mans, especially if that's why you're getting it for. Prepare yourself for it and try it. Make sure that you are able to use the cast function. Maybe I would probably recommend, because of the stability issues, if you can, try to watch it on a browser. Try to watch it on your laptop and then connect that to your TV or on your desktop, whatever you have. That will probably be the smoothest experience. And then I would move to the app if you don't have any other option. That being said, that would wrap up everything that I have to say about the World Endurance Championship TV app. Let me know what you guys think about it, what you guys think about the service. Maybe I'm just really, really negative and I should look on the lighter side of life. However, yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And as always, I will be seeing you guys here tomorrow at the Daily Racing Show. Like and subscribe. Don't forget that. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it.